Shift Sports carbon bonnet, Supercat wide lens, rear view mirror. I don't think it works when you go in reverse. NISMO suspension link, tension rods, NISMO suspension rear link, suspension link upper link, both sides, NISMO suspension link, the trans boss link, I don't know what that is, transfer link, I don't know. NISMO suspension link upper rear, NISMO suspension link rear arms, Pioneer radio, bright headlights, SARD catalytic converter. I mean, it just has an extreme amount of, especially NISMO, Blitz front pipe. That's why it sounds so good. Miracle Fireball. That's a 5 Ziegen exhaust. Clutch disc, clutch cover. The strut tower bar, NISMO, Recaro seats. I mean, this just keeps going on. Raised NISMO wheels, NISMO airbag steering. So the steering wheel, HKS blow-off valve, NISMO front power brace system 2, the rear strut tower bar, the Recaro specific 7-road seat covers, NISMO flywheel, the Cusco street catch tank, and the push button start system. Last NISMO fuel filler cap cover, and NISMO, I don't even know, carbon number plate trim. I'm not sure if that's on there. Car's got an extreme amount of NISMO parts and this weird system that I will explain. All right, we got the NISMO heavily inspired S14 Ks turbo SR20. Not exactly sure of the year. I think it's probably a 97 with the newer aero, obviously. We'll do a quick walk around. Carbon bonnet, raised wheels. The fitting in here is kind of tight, so left side, passenger side, is going to be a bit difficult. LED tails. Carbon bonnet. It's really nice. Shift Sports. I've personally never heard of them, but the client has. All right, let me try to break these videos down. All right, we'll start with the front bumper. There's not any cracks that I know of. I haven't gotten down, like we just washed it yesterday. We just got this car a couple of days ago. Tried to figure out some things that are going on with it. This is a 330,000 kilometer car, daily driven obviously, but upkept, you know, so there's a balance between, you know, do you want a 15,000 kilometer car that's been sitting in a field, not driven possibly, or do you want a car that, you know, has been driven and maintained and has service records and, you know, what's the best, what's the worst? It's case by case, I'm sure. But so as far as the front bumper goes, there's spider cracking right there. It goes all the way down. This pearl white's kind of hard to see, but it goes, you know, from here all the way down. Many cracks here, and it kind of goes to about 3 cracks there. Spider cracking there as well. Obviously, the biggest flaw on the car on the outside that you can see is the front here. It's got a complete brush mark, white scrapes, and then the chip. I mean, that's deep. That's gonna take some fiberglassing, I'm sure, and get that repaired. And the crack paint and spider webbing down on this side of the lip as well. The crevices are pretty dirty inside. We tried to clean those up specifically. Headlights, very clean, both sides. HID. Fogs and turns are in good shape. It's got a NISMO, well, at least a NISMO badge. I don't know what this grill is. And this weird like pattern. Maybe just, I mean, I don't know if that's a sticker or what, but this is painted black here. It's actually a really rough, like kind of like a plastic dip. A little bit of spider cracking here and there. You go to this side. Not only does this have NISMO stickers all around it, I've got NISMO stickers, you know, a whole book full of extra ones. Spider cracking and a brush mark here. This one's not so bad, but the color is wrong. That's the worst of the bumper. All right, as I mentioned, Shift Sports hood, it's got an open vent. I personally love that style. How does it work with everyday use, being in the elements? I'm not sure with, you know, getting water in there. The carbon looks really nice. When you pop the hood and try to close it, still the only latch is here. And if you just kind of push it, it doesn't want to shut. It's really scary. I mean, I don't see any spider cracking here from people trying to close it, but like when you push it, the whole hood kind of caves in. I don't know if it's how can I say, protected. Like even if you do that, like it'll just pop out. Like, it's not going to spider crack it, but it's really scary every time you close the hood on this thing. A little bit of fading on it there, not over here. Also, you can see the fading here. It's not that big of a deal to where it's like, oh my God, it kind of looks like just the way the carbon flows. Other than that, fading here and water spots here, I'm sure you can polish it. I'm not gonna polish the carbon fiber myself. You can see the water jets there as well. Has like a fading. But other than that, no spider cracks. The hood looks really good. Go to the mirrors. They're chipped. It looked like they had a carbon wrap. This carbon looks really good, but then it just broke up here. So they would need to be heated up and that removed, excuse me, and then replaced. Same thing as well over here. Looks like water sat there, kind of ruined the finish. Yeah, they just need to be replaced. Wiper's kind of rusted. You can see the difference in where the wiper hits the window and then the water stains right here. Possibly, well, I mean, it can be polished out, I'm sure, but not easy. So there's a gap in the trim on both sides. And on this side, there's like a carbon fiber tape. And that side must have come off, I guess, for picture reasons. Like, you know, when it was at auction, you really wouldn't be able to see that. But over here, it has this hole here. Now, I'm not used to looking at 14s. This is obviously, or honestly, the first 14 I've gotten. I have another on the way that I'll do a video hopefully the beginning of next week. It does have a trim inside the trim, which I don't know, again, I don't know if that's normal, but it goes all the way around. I believe the rear window as well. All right. Driver's side fender is completely blemish free. Rock chips from obviously driving the car pretty hard. The NISMO's got really chunky tires on it. Going down the side of the car, that rear quarter's been replaced. I'll get to that in a second. Obviously, you can really see why or what's done to it. This paint on the door is not as shiny as the fender. I do see a run in the paint here and sand marks, so maybe there was a dent here that they fixed. You can't really catch that in the video on this white paint, but other than that, no door dings, and I say it every time. I would much rather have kind of like a clear issue than have dents and dings. Sorry, I still have a cold, so I sound kind of nasally, I think. Weather trim is good. There's dirt in the paint on the roof here. So, I mean, it's all over. And these kind of have like little rust bubbles. That side's not as bad. But like here, chip paint or clear. Maybe it's the clear. But like I said, this has been replaced. You can see the different color. The trunk and the spoiler is very white. This is kind of like a yellow, and that goes all the way up the top. So I believe they used a different white and didn't match it as well as the door. So this door also, I mentioned over here, but now looking at it, it's got sand marks all the way down. So I mean, they probably sanded it and they didn't do a nice prep job when they primered it, and it kind of came through in the paint. It's hard to catch. But the overall bodywork is good. Like, it doesn't look wavy or anything. So this being replaced really has some issues. There's touch paint on the handle while I'm here. I'll pop the gas tank as well. I don't see any issues with the door here. Is like a little rust there. So where it was cut and replaced from, I'm not sure, because this doesn't look too bad in here. Oh, that was the trunk. Anyways. But from here you can see the bubble under the paint. The paint's coming off on the trim. So it probably was not windows out when they did it. They just taped up to there, and the paint's coming off. And there's a lot of dirt in the paint on this side. Yeah, you can kind of see the spots in here as well. But like the overall quarter, it's not dented or misformed, misaligned or anything. But the paint looks like it was just taped up to the edges and then started to come off. This looks kind of bad. I mean, I'm not sure how easy or hard it is to align that when you do a new fender replacement, but yeah, I mean, there's water sitting in here. We washed it yesterday. The NISMO gas tank cover. And then here, it looks like when they did the repair, water got in it, under it, and it's bubbling up. That'll have to be fixed. And the trunk as well. Some water's running down, but this seal as well failed. So that will have to get repaired as well. Right down in here. But really on the car, that's the worst of it. this was the only replacement. All right, I mentioned LED tails. The trunk was replaced as well, but I think it was just a direct replacement. Maybe they found one. I mean, it's got quite a lot of dirt and blemishes on it. Not the best paint job, but the actual trunk is in perfect shape. It's got the nice spoiler as well. It's got I think a rubber flap here. Not really sure what that is, if that's just custom from, you know, like Japan's Home Depot or something. I don't know, or if that's something that's purchased. There's like wear marks. I guess they're just heavy scratches from washing. It goes all the way down. I don't think you can really, you know, polish this without damaging the paint, so I wouldn't touch that myself. Rear window. I don't know whose family name that represents, if that's a famous thing or not. Pretty common in Japan. You know, there's dirt in the seals there. The overall trunk, though, you know, there's not hiding any rust or damage. It's really dirty in through here, but it's not rusting. Underside hinge. The trunk, I pulled this all out. It's in really good shape. And it gets exposed over here with a cardboard box. I'm not sure, maybe just to put the form of the trunk in there, but really there's no issues with it. Rear bumper as well, some rock chips. There's chips here. I don't exactly know how that would have happened unless, you know, somebody backing into it or it backing into something, or somebody, you know, pulling into it during parking. But the bumper's quite dull, you know, where you can see the shine here. There's no shine here. 5Z muffler. Honestly, I haven't even gotten under the car yet. I will get specific pictures of that. Just typical rock chips, nothing too bad. And going down this side, there's not really anything to talk about. It's in really good shape. The rubber trims are all nice. This has kind of the same paint issue where it was taped up to here. There is a smudge in the paint and pulled clear there. Yeah, there is those little bubbles all the way across this. But other than that, the door side skirts are in good shape, all the way down to the passenger fender. And no complaints there. A shot. I don't think I can get this angle really well. All right, this is out. Actually, my first time under the car. Now, I'm sure those are just water stains from washing the car. Like, here's a big puddle of water I put my hand in a second ago. Going down the chassis rail. A little bit of surface rust. The jack points have some surface rust there. It's quite rusty, but no corrosion. I mean, that jack point's completely obliterated. I hate being an old man. This one's not as bad, just rusted. Now, this car was purchased at auction blindly. Customer did get I'd say a good deal on it. We don't really disclose pricing, but he's happy. And I'm happy the car lived up to its inspection sheet. See if I can get in the front here really quick, and then we'll be done crawling on the floor. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the cover there. All right, under the engine, no engine running. Core support has been replaced, but the car is a grade 3. It was not an R grade, even though the fender and core support have been replaced. I shined a light down in there, no signs of rust. I guess all the hinges and everything are normal, all the brackets, so it could have been replaced for, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. The Cusco catch can that was mentioned, headlight brackets are in good shape. I don't know what this is as far as the two different trims, but it is on both headlights. The bolts are kind of rusted. There's black strips that go down the fender on each side. It's carbon, so probably when you close the hood, it's not so noticeable with a white gap there. The front support is quite dirty. The entire car is dirty, and I don't know if that's because of the hole in the vent there. But there's a lot of work in here, like with the headlights, the ballast, and the battery. I don't know, but we've had to jump it once. I kept a trickle charger on it a couple of times. We tried to clean the strut towers, but I mean, this just didn't want to come off. We would need probably some serious cleaning materials to get that dirt off. This side's good. The NISMO tower bar is chipped up. That'll just have to be refinished. This side has a little bit more issues. It's quite dirty. The HKS pod filter. There is some surface rust in this seam here. And some unsightly surface rust here, but it's not corrosion, and it's quite dirty in here. It's a little rough, but the actual strut is fine, just super dirty. Valve cover, the coil cover is dirty as well. I mean, the engine, the head and block, I can't see down in there, but it's quite black. Might be a sign of an oil leak of some sort, or had one. I think that has to do, I'm not sure what that bracket does. Maybe somebody can fill me in on that. All right, other than that, let's fire this up. I thought, until I read the instructions on how this worked, I thought they broke the key in here, and that's why they switched to the push start. But when I read the manual, it says you need to cut the key and put it in there. The problem is, I think this is cut too short, so that cannot be removed. I don't know, like, I guess you take the ignition apart and you can get this out, but at the moment, that can't be removed if you wanted to. I haven't checked this switch to see if this has anything to do with the push, but I will now. We can experience that together. The Recaro seats are really nice. All right, let's get the, I won't really focus on the interior. Does it have something to do with this? I turned it on. Nothing. Well, I will troubleshoot it. Maybe the battery's 100% dead. All right, well, I checked my pockets. I don't think the battery's 100% dead. I think I'm an idiot. Hey, Bear. Yep. My half-eaten rice ball. Hi, Bear. This Smart Lockman remote controller, it's really annoying to me. If you have the key in your pocket, it'll just sit here and chirp and beep, and anytime you walk around, it's gonna lock the doors. When we got the car, it was like, do not lock the doors. I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, well, crap, you know, like if the battery dies, then we're not gonna be able to open the door because we have this, which is electronic. But really, like, if you unlock the door and you walk away, it does lock the door automatically. So I think you can easily lock something inside the car, but we have quite a few of these as spares. So now, let's try this again with the key in my pocket. That was scary. Got the start. There we go. This makes a lot of sounds too when it fires up. You'll hear that in a second. Oh, NISMO. That's this. Like static. I don't know what this radar is here. Maybe when you're driving, it will show up. I haven't tried to hit it like any certain buttons. I'll have to read the manual. 333,000 kilometers. Alright, the shifting makes that sound. So we are going to have to replace the clutch in this, I believe. My first time actually hearing that sound was when I moved this the other day. Alright, muffler sounds great. I mean, it's for S14, that sounds really good with the downpipe. I guess the front pipe's a downpipe, and then catalyzer and muffler, but still factory turbo. That's really loud. But when I fired it up, there was no belt squealing or anything of that nature. The engine sounds strong. Doesn't sound like it has any issues. It's pretty nice. Turn the... Oh well, that's fine. I will do the electronics check and leave the engine on because it's still got about an hour before my coworkers come in. How do we turn? I want to close this. I don't really know how so I can't. Well, it's not so cold. It's about 10 degrees, so I'm sure the air is gonna blow cold right away. But as far as turning the heat on, I mean, it's cool. So I have it set to 25. I'll have to wait for that to heat up. Speakers, there's no music playing, so I don't know how all these speakers sound. Turn on the headlights. I can see in the so in the reflection you can see the blue headlights there. I don't know. So there's like a setting here. Dress. I'm going to turn this off and turn it back on without the flash. Yeah, it says dress, power. Let me show you what these do. Turn the, I can't see the hazards either. Oh, there we go. Close. Okay, you have the gauges. They're all working. Boost. Let me hit that, see if it moves. Yeah, boost gauge works. Horn works. The headlights have, okay. So this, when I said this is separate, this has an LED strip here. I've seen it in blue. Right now it's blue, and I've seen it in white. Headlights, running lights, blinkers. These fogs I'm not sure about. Again, the LED light, headlight, blinker. Sylvia has no side markers. LED tails. This blinker does not work. This blinker works, so I'm gonna have to replace that bulb. Alright, I think I cut the video off too soon. The heat is blowing. Turn that off. And if you look at the reflection, the typical fog light switch here turns those fog lights on and off. So both fog lights are in working order. High beams, both working order. Turn off the headlights, turn off the hazards. Let me try. Where do you adjust the windows? Oh, down here. Welcome to S14 Sylvia. Down, up, in, out, out, in, up, down. That's kind of jumpy, but it does work. No folding, obviously they're not folding mirrors. Unlock, and locks that. Unlock, unlocks it. Windows down, windows up. It's all in working order. Very nice. Ah, that's bright. I wasn't expecting that, but you can see the LED. Well, it's got LEDs in there. Those are just a typical yellow. Everything checks out. I mean, it's a really nice car. Let's do the interior now. All right, because that light is quite bright, being an LED, I will keep that on while I do this video. I mean, my coworker was able to wash this and clean this inside and out for me yesterday. So it does show. All right, I thought my light was on. It's causing a glare. But everything for a 300,000 kilometer car, I mean, I don't even know how many miles that is, but everything is in really good shape. I mean, I had like a 100,000 mile Integra back in the day, and my bony elbow, you know, caused a break there because I leaned to the right. Well, I was driving a left-hand drive car, so I leaned to the left, put a dent there, you know, but everything on here, the kick plate is smooth. There's some heavy scratches in there, but other than that, Sylvia matte Razzo, I don't know how you say that. Pedals, they're in good shape. The ignition I mentioned. The headlight system is quite dirty. The NISMO wheel is faded on the right, but not the left. Other than that, I mean, I would rewrap this if I can because it's just such an expensive wheel. The wiper as well, good shape. There's actually a spare wiper. I think it came in the trunk, but I looked at it too and it's not any better shape or worse shape than that one, but they have a spare for some reason. The white clusters, Recaro seats, the client really wants to see what these look like, what the pattern of the S3 seat is. I just don't know how easy it is to take the covers off, so I don't want to just yet. Once I have some time, I'll read the instructions on how to put it on and take it off. Other than that, the seat adjusts fine. Pull and push lever works. Glove box, I did clean inside, but it's quite scratched. I guess this is a stock shift knob. It's super heavy. I mean, I don't know why this is so heavy. Other than that, everything, I'm assuming this is a NISMO. Yeah, it's got the NISMO emblem because everything else is NISMO. E-brake is very smooth here, it's worn. Other than that, very limited scratching. The worst of the interior is screw holes, maybe here, and there's an X pattern over here. Maybe you can see it. Yeah. Maybe they had something coming out. There was a heavy, and there you can still kind of see the heavy circle here. I cleaned it. It did look a lot worse. But they must have had something mounted here, and maybe that's why they had those screws. And then there's two cracks here and there. That's the majority of it as far as the issues. ETC machine, I mean, some people like that. I mean, you can't use it in America. It's got some covers here, but the floor is good. That is a Sylvia mat there. And the seat covers are in good shape. This door, again, just like the driver's door, in good shape. The fold down shades, everything, knobs are crisp. This is so funny for such a high kilometer car. I got to clean the, let me see if I can pop. Yeah, I got to clean the rear myself, so I know this is in good shape as well. The light doesn't hit it, but all through the rear, I mean, it's got a good smell. They did have some scent things in the gauges. I think they set it right here, or in the vents, but I mean, the car does smell good. Doesn't smell like a smoker's car. Yeah, other than that, client's excited. It's a nice car. Got to get the clutch fixed first, and then it's going to be on its way to port.